In the unit of the Native and Indigenous populations, I really found the women's roles in the Cherokee tribe to be very interesting to me because women have faced a lot of hardships through history, and we are typically seen in the past times as just people who have to clean the house and cook and take care of the children. But in the Cherokee tribe, the women were seen as powerful people. They took care of stuff. They raised the cattle. They had economic holds that you don't see in a lot of history, especially in America. And they lost this power when the Europeans came in, which is why women today have felt like they fought so hard to get to where they are, to be able to have jobs as CEOs and to live in the house and have the same amount of power as a man. Now, I did some research on my own, and I found this writing called The Changing Role of Women in the Cherokee Culture by Angela Keith. It's from Elizabethtown College. And in her thing, she talks about how women had roles as a farmer and they had power and prestige. But when the Europeans came over and started to get into the land, who was it? Thomas Jefferson said that he believed that the Indians could coexist with the white Americans. However, he said that they would have to adopt the Euro-American values, which meant that women had to be basically degraded from what they were in the Cherokee tribe. What you don't see now is like when a woman marries a man, she takes his name. She becomes part of his family. But in the Cherokee tribe, if a guy married a woman and she was in a different tribe, he would then join her tribe instead of her joining his tribe. Which is like in modern time, we're joining as women the men's tribe, the men's family. That's why most women take the men's last name. The kids get the last name. And also, in the Cherokee tribe, the heirs of anything were the sisters' kids, not the man's kids. And that's the interesting part, because when you look at like the royal families, it usually gets passed down to a man. That's in the European values, and that's also in the American values as well. Usually when someone's getting a business passed down to them, it goes to the male. It goes to the son. It doesn't always go to the daughter. Though we are making headway where women do get to see these things and get to be CEOs, we don't get that anymore. You know, the Cherokee had to lose a part of their culture with women being seen as very respectful and powerful to being housewives. Though they did a lot of work where they would take care of the children and they would clean the house and they would feed the family. When the husbands came home from work, they would feed them. But they also had so many more powerful roles in the entire community. If those women hadn't been doing these things, how would the Cherokee tribe have thrived? The men would have had to taken over their jobs and what the women were doing. So I think it's quite interesting to see that women had power before we even realized they had power. In America, it was a big deal when the women went to work in the factories and a league of their own. They had their own sports teams because all the men were off at war. But the Cherokee tribe were the original people to look at women as real people who are capable of doing things that the men could do. And I find this to be very interesting. And you may get this a lot with females because we're gonna, women's rights. But it's just interesting that the Europeans did not accept these views. They did not want the women to have power. These white men came over and said, no, if you want to coexist with us, you guys have to believe what we believe. Believe that women belong in the household 24/7 and do the work that is dainty. Do the stuff just to keep things going in the house and not do other stuff. These women in the Cherokee tribe made friendships with other women by going out and taking care of the cattle, by farming, and it's just very interesting because this allowed things to get done quicker. Because nowadays we get so many things done because women and men are able to do the exact same things. But if you look at America before that, men had to do everything. Women just did the stuff in the house, and that's the simple stuff that anybody could do in a single day. Honestly, in a single hour. And so it makes a lot more sense to work together. You know what they say, teamwork makes the dream work. And for the Europeans to just completely diss this idea that women were able to do the same things that they were, if we wanted to coexist with the Cherokees, is ridiculous. I have a strong respect for the tribes. I live in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and I have Lumbee friends. A lot of my friends are Native Americans, and truly this was their land first. So why not adopt their values within their land? You know, why did the Europeans have to diss a bunch of their culture? Because this made a new culture, but was it necessarily the most productive culture that they could have made? Instead of maybe listening to the Cherokees or any other tribe and being like, wow, that makes sense, that's productive, maybe we should listen to you. I just thought it was interesting to see how women were seen in this time, especially in the Appalachian Mountain, the Cherokee tribe. And honestly, I wish these roles for women had lasted longer. But history's history and hindsight's 2020.